Alright, there she is, our accent tap. She's a beauty. 80 measures long, it's going to be a good one. As with all my exercises, I usually group in a couple things together at once. So it's not just an accent tap, it's not just a one-handed accent tap. It's going to be one-handed accent tap, it's going to be an accent grid, it's going to be accent jam, and then a melodic accent tap. So A is our one-hander, B is our grid, C is our accent tap, melodic, and then D is our accent tap, accent hand-to-hand jam. So as with everything, this isn't meant to be learned in a day. It's meant to be learned over months. So we want to perfect the techniques in A before we go to B, and then we want to perfect B before we go to C. Alright? It can be used as 4 different exercises too, so if you want to start a little bit of A and then start a little bit of B, you can practice it like that. But just remember not to go through this. It's about the reps and about learning the technique, not so much about learning the notes. Okay, so let me break this down. A1 is gonna, or A I should call it, is gonna be a one-hander, and it's gonna be accenting certain numbers. So first we do a legato, and then we're gonna accent the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody's accenting a different number. Basses do 1, tenors do 2, you do 3. So it's gonna be a pretty cool little back and forth thing. So concentrate on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we go to A2, we're going to do the same thing. It's going to be in 3, but we're going to split it up to counting 3s. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's why I set it up like that, okay? And then there's legatos before that. And then A3, you're going to accent the 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A3 could be an exercise in its own. It's very important to get this, they call it bucks. Okay? Just practice that a lot. And we're just doing a legato before it. So count carefully, count out loud when you're doing this because those 3s get tricky sometimes. After all that, that's kind of our warm-up. Then we go into a little tag, made it exciting. That's pretty easy. Then do a double beat. Paradiddle thing, and a roll. Grid. Okay? So the tag, we have a triplet thing into singles, so you can figure that out. But at 25, we have a double beat. Make sure you know that. We're just going to fill in the left hand at measure 27, 28. Should be the same thing in the right hand. Okay? And then just a roll out of that. Okay? Notice how the metronome's been going the whole time. Don't do this without a metronome. You will get nowhere. Alright, that's 128. Alright? So, then we get to the grid. The grid is a very important, famous exercise. I'll explain it in a second. That's the first part of the grid. A grid is a very cool thing. I met the guy that invented grid. Does that make me special? I don't know if it does, but I feel special. So a grid is by the name, made up by the guy named Tom Float. You should look him up. Coolest guy I think I've ever met in my life. Float came up with this thing. We move our accent, or a rudiment. You can grid a lot of things. We're just gridding an accent. We could grid, we move it from one partial to the next. So 16th note is 4 groups of notes. First we're going to accent the 1, then we're going to accent the 2, then we're going to accent the 3, then we're going to accent the 4. So watch, it goes like this. We do 1, 1, 1, 1, E, 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 3, 4. So we're accenting the 1, then the E the next bar, then the and, then the okay? Well, grid takes that idea and we do 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s, and then we do, at B2, we do 2 of each, and then at B3, we do 1 of each. So here would be 2s. 1, 1, E, E, and, we usually do that twice. So it's the same thing as the first one, just chopped in half. Instead of 4 accents on 1, 2 accents on 1. And B3 is the same. We just do 1. We do that 4 times. Okay? That's the theory behind a grid. What a grid does is it teaches you to play on spots that you don't normally play. And in the marching band world, that means our feet get a bit of a workout. So on those E's, or on those second partials, we have to make sure our foot is at a different spot. Ooh, I can see myself marking time. That's weird, I've never seen that. Messing me up. So, this is as much a foot exercise as it is as a hand, as with a lot of our things. So be very careful that when you're practicing, don't just do your hands, because if you just do your hands, you're only getting half the battle. Alright? After that, we go into a 16th, one-handing melodic thing. So these are all going to be different. Every instrument's going to have a different feel to this, so this kind of makes a groove, like the basses play off you, and you play off the snares, the tenors. So it's going to be craziness. It's very cool. It goes back and forth. So learn your part. It's basically 2 bars on the right, and then we repeat those 2 bars on the left. And we do that all flat. You want to take each one of your subsections, your C1 a bunch, then C2 a bunch. Make sure you have yours pretty well, because with the full drum line, everybody's going to be playing something different. So it's very important that you know yours and you're not just kind of floating on it. C4 is the explosion. It all goes downhill from here. This is hard. I don't even know why I added this for you, but try it. I believe in you. Again, we do a inverted roll and accent those second notes. I'm not even going to try to explain it. Just sit down and work it out. It's right, left, left, right, right, left, left. And you accent the second one of each. Good luck. There's a little snare solo at 63. It says ad-lib. Center snare gets to do his thing. And then we go into the accent jam. Accent jam is the big one. This one's going to be hard. This is where we need the home practice. So, this, again, everybody's doing something different. We're going to play off each other a little bit of the same thing, but it's pretty hard. So take subsections again. Do D1 for a while, D2 for a while, and make sure your feet line up. I wrote in the music, if you see the right hands, the capital rights and the capital lefts, those are your accented hands. So sometimes it's easier to just know which hand you're accenting. So we go right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, right, left, right, left, right. Okay? So work on those a little bit at a time. Nothing I can explain, just do it. At D2, I add little tenuto accents. Those are half accents. Okay, so work on those. And D2 is very similar to D1. Then D3 takes a melody. You hear this a lot. D4 takes that melody again. Okay. You may want to do D4 first before D3, because D4 just reps that melody a lot. It is a cool one. I hope you have much fun playing it, or learning it, as I did writing it. It took me a while, so put it all together and let's make something out of it. Thank you. See ya.